Alright, this video I want to share my experiences and the difference between a mountain bike, a hybrid, a cyclocross, which is specifically, I believe, mainly associated with Cannondale's, but I think other brands make those as well, and then a road bike. So those are 4 different bikes that I just mentioned that I'm going to speak about. You got, as I stated, a mountain bike, hybrid bike, cyclocross, and then a road bike. Alright, the differences between all of those, I've owned and rode each one of those. So I've owned all 4 of those bikes. Alright, the mountain bike is the cheapest one out of all of them. Alright, and then the next cheapest is the hybrid. And then the next after that is the cyclocross, and then the most expensive one is the road bikes. Alright, mountain bikes you could typically find, it depends on what type of brand you get, but you could typically find a mountain bike for like $200 or something like that. The more quality mountain bikes will probably be around $500. Alright, the hybrid bikes, you could find them around $400. The higher quality hybrid bikes would be probably around $1,300 or more. The cyclocross bikes, they cost around $1,200, and they go all the way up to around $3,500, $3,600. Alright, the road bikes cost, the really cheap road bikes, you can find it for probably $600, and then it goes all the way up to like over $13,000. Alright, the road bikes are the ones the professionals use for things like the Tour de France. Those are like the highest speed bikes. The road bikes go the fastest. Mountain bikes go the slowest. The next fastest after the mountain bike is the hybrid, and then the cyclocross, and then the road bike is the fastest. Mountain bikes, you probably average around 10 miles per hour. Hybrids, you could probably average around 12 miles per hour. Cyclocross, maybe 14 miles per hour. Road bikes, you could probably average like 15-16 miles per hour. Okay, now the mountain bikes are the ones that have the really thick fat tires. Alright, very thick fat tires, and those bikes, the wheel size is smaller than all the other ones. The mountain bike wheel sizes are smaller. That's what makes it slower too, is because it's a smaller wheel. And what else makes it slower is the huge fat tires. Now the advantage of the mountain bike is that it's very durable. It'll last a very long time. Those tires like rarely will ever pop because they're so thick. They rarely will ever pop. Mountain bikes, you can ride those year round. You can ride it in the mud. You can ride it on bumpy terrains. You could ride it in the snow, in the rain. Any time of the year you could ride them. It's just that they're really slow. The frames for the mountain bikes are very heavy too. They're heavy frames, so they weigh more. The bike weighs a good amount. You're talking about these mountain bikes, probably weigh around 30 pounds, okay, or more. Some of these mountain bikes. The hybrids, the hybrids could weigh all the way close to 23 pounds, and then the cyclocross could weigh around 20 pounds, the really high quality ones, and then the road bikes could weigh as little as 15 pounds or less. Alright, mountain bikes, they're they're durable, but they're really slow. And they usually, a lot of them have these shocks. It's a comfortable ride in a way, because when you go off of curbs, or when you go over the grass, or when you gotta jump over something, there's these shock absorption, and then it absorbs the shock, you know. So those are the mountain bikes. The hybrids, they have bigger wheels than the mountain bikes. They go faster, all right, because they got bigger wheels. The wheels are thinner as well. They're not as thin as the road bikes, but they're a lot thinner than the mountain bikes. They go faster. There's no shocks in the hybrids, so it keeps the front wheel stabilized, so then it could glide across the road, and then you know, the shock basically slows you down. So the shocks slow you down, so the hybrids have no shocks, so that makes you go faster. Alright, hybrids are more of an upright position. You don't really have to hunch over much. So the hybrids basically are similar to a mountain bike, but it's just with different wheels. Same upright type of position. No shocks, makes it go faster, bigger wheels. Cyclocross is, now you're getting close to the road bike. Cyclocross is basically giving you the road bike handlebars, but then you could also transition into the mountain bike handlebars as well, the upright position, so you have both positions that you could transition into. The wheels are you know, a cross between a hybrid and a mountain bike, so they got like hybrid type wheels. The wheels are still bigger, and the frame usually is lighter than a hybrid. So basically it's getting closer and closer to a road bike when you get the cyclocross. When you finally get the road bike has a more of like a slouched position where you're over the bars, you're over the handlebars. The handlebars are a different type of handlebar, where it's designed for speed. There's no, like, they don't really the bike is not really designed to give you like a completely upright position. The wheels are very, very thin. The bike is super light, and this is the fastest bike out of all of them. But the problem with the road bike, you could get flat tires a lot more often because the tires are so thin. You know, so there's a problem with that, you know, because you have flat tires, and the bike is not as strong, you know, as the other bikes. You know, they could break. One crash could just mean the end of all of it. So, but that's pretty much the difference between all of those.